from side mount, and like I said, I call it side mount for a reason and not side control. I don't want to just control, like I mentioned earlier, that's white belt mentality. No disrespect to white belts, I'll be listening on this eventually. But like, you get to a point, I'm a finisher, and I believe I'm a master finisher, and I want to get to a position where I can finish. And when you're fighting, what's the end goal?
Submission.
Submission. There's a path to submission. Position, isolation, and then submission. So when I get into a position, I want to start thinking about the possibilities I've selected. Not, fear of loss, I'm going to lose the position. I do just enough control to make sure that he's not getting out, and then I've got my job. Similar to last week when we was talking, I think we was on our backs and we was going through from closed guard, and I was saying sitting up into like a half kimura position. The game has now changed. You had the job on your back. It was sweep, sub, or sub. And the man on top was passed. The second you get into a position where sweeps and subs are on, he's no longer thinking about passing, because you're first. You started making the move, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to get into a position, we're going to start isolating limbs, and we're going to give ourselves options. Ready to get going?
Yep.
What's up? Okay, so for today, we've got Habib side on his back. And we're working from side mount, not side control like I spoke to at the beginning. And we had a little chat talking about my philosophy on certain things. So as you notice, I've immediately gone for head control, and I try to tuck my chin in because I kind of want him to have my head. So when what tends to happen, when you squeeze someone kind of squeezes back, he hasn't got my head, I've got his arm. First thing we're going to do is what I call a basic kimura trap. From here, an Americana trap. From here, you notice he's got the frame with his arm. I'm gonna negate that. I'm gonna pop my hips up, slide, knee across the body, and I'm gonna sit low. Now to make sure I keep that, I'm gonna release the head, drive it back. As I've done that, I hold this bicep and I'm here. Everything is isolated. He's got no escape from the shrimp. He's got no escape with this arm over here. He might have a frame on the other arm. No, he hasn't. He's fallen right into my trap. Total isolation, waiting for that. So we start in a normal position. I'm here. I'm isolating it. I sit and I wait. I could squeeze. He's less likely to do anything. So what I tend to do, I try to relax a little bit, take the pressure off, make him feel he can do anything. When he goes for it, just turn, palms facing down. That's already tight. We'll go over finishes another day, the isolation, but today is all about options from this position. We're gonna go here, and let's say I'm struggling with this frame here. What I'm gonna do, especially if you look at my anatomy, I'm tall, but I've also got really long femurs. So that creates a massive space. I tend to struggle holding the side mounters for too long. From here, I hold the shoulder, and I'm just making sure I haven't lost this. From here, I'm gonna go to a scarf hold. From here, I'm not gonna do the typical one where I try to control him as much as I possibly can, because this isn't about control, it's about setup. From here, I do what some people would say is wrong, and I keep my weight low. Now the reason I keep my weight low and the reason people don't keep their weight low is people can sit up in this position. This is exactly why I'm doing it, because I'm setting up another trap. So what comes, so I go here and I sit back and I'm immediately thinking, this hand needs to come underneath. So he puts his hand in face, here. Now to negate the pressure of sitting up, I come up too. Once I've got this leg comes back underneath and the momentum and pressure starts going back down. Key points, don't have your elbows on it. Make sure your elbows to the floor and finish them correctly. One more time, no talking. One more key point. Did you see how I stuck his arm to me? Beautiful. Okay, so we're back in this position. Now we're gonna imagine that Habib this time is a less reactive fighter. He's just kind of a holder runner and just wants to observe. He's got that frame, he feels he's safe. He kind of knows I'm isolating this now, he can feel it, so he's not gonna be stupid and give it to me. However, he wants to keep the pressure there. Again, I go here, he's not reactive, he's not gonna sit up, he's just trying to keep his elbows in and think about pressure. I can still, if I'm really aggressive enough, go for it. Let's say he's already kind of negated it and it's going to be harder. This is where I'm just going to isolate. Step over, pick up the arm again, and I'm good to go. There is this submission. It's at 10% now. I'd rather, and the thing is, if you miss it, you might lose the control altogether. So I prefer to just get the control. Okay, so I'm here, I haven't got the full isolation. I sit up, he's not sitting up, that's fine. I've isolated the arm. I can start working on my attacks again. Moving on to the next one swiftly from here. Looks a lot more fantastic. Same thing, unreactive. I step here. Now his head's on the floor here. Let's say he was a little bit up, or maybe I could pull him up. In this video, sometimes there's an opportunity where he's like this. Step all the way over. Do the reverse triangle. Now, oftentimes, the right pressure, it's enough. What's different here, in this triangle, for a triangle to work, you need pressure on this side and pressure on this side. It's hard from the bottom to get his arm here and do it properly. So it's very easy for him, for him to defend. So you don't always finish a triangle for him, but it's such a great isolation. He's only thinking about this. This is where we go. Back. So Americano. The right angle. Alright. So from here. Break on. Pick it up. Beautiful stuff.